Everybody wants some blast of magic, 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 magic. Oh, I got the magic in me.
Alright, it's time for Magician 101 because it's Monday. And this is the final episode of the Street Magic portion of our show. I'm going to go into how to do trick selection, how to incorporate the tricks you've picked, the one trick you picked to be in your pitch. I'm going to incorporate that into, I'll tell you how to incorporate that trick into pitching for your tips. And I'm also going to talk about some stock lines you can use when you pitch for your tips. Okay, the hat selection is not that important. Any hat will work for your pitching. I kind of use this hat. There's a new hat I'm going to get. I got it off eBay. It's a card fan. You toss it up. It pops into a hat with pictures of playing cards all around it. I'm going to start using that. I got it off eBay. Really cheap. $28 too. So you can't beat it because those hats usually go for like 70 or 80 bucks. So the hat doesn't matter. What I do recommend with your hat, keep it in or sitting right in front of your table the whole show. Because that way, if somebody comes by and watches one of your tricks and has to leave because they're late for an appointment or something, they'd have to hand you the money and you'd have to stop your show. That way, if your hat's sitting right in front of your table, they could throw $1, $2, $5, whatever, into the hat, and you don't even have to stop your show. You can just say, "Thank you so much, sir," and then go back to your show. Another thing I recommend, keep some stock money in your hat. Stock money is where you put your own money in the hat, like $3, so people get the idea, oh, he wants money in the hat. Then people will start throwing money in there. If you just have an empty hat, people might think, oh, well, you know, it's a prop. I don't want to touch it. It probably does something in his show. I don't want to do anything with it. So put a few dollars in your hat. Some magicians don't put money in their hat to begin with, but they will draw attention to the hat every single second of the show. Like they'll go, there's the hat. After this trick, it's so good you might want to throw money in there. And they'll do that. And they'll remind their audience the hat is for money. I don't do that. I keep a couple dollars in the hat already. And then people just start throwing money in there when they feel compelled to. Okay. Now we're done with that. So we're going to move into trick selection. I told you one trick in your pitch. You want to do in the pitch section your best trick out of all the tricks you do. And I talked a little bit about trick selection last week, but you want to do the best trick in your show. I talked about last week doing either a cup and ball routine, doing a straightjacket escape, doing a card trick, or doing Chris Ballinger's Frayed Knot, because Frayed Knot is a really good trick to do for a street magic closer. But I'm going to talk a little bit about how to incorporate your pitch trick, the final trick. I'm going to incorporate how you can use that to pitch for tips. First, the card trick. I do have it here. What I do is I take a jumbo playing card. This one has been pre-folded. I take a jumbo playing card, I fold it up, and put it underneath the hat. What I do is have the audience pick a card. I'd say, okay, I'm going to try to find your card. I go into the deck, try to find the card. I can't find it, and I say, okay, I'm messing up. But, you know, I was always told by the magician who mentored me to always keep a good trick under my hat. So go ahead and take a look. There's a playing card. Open it up, and it'll be their card, and they go crazy. Look, you're in the good position. You got your hand around the hat, and you're ready to take that hat and pass it. The big tip I find when I do street magic is you want to do for your final trick, your pitch, the trick you're going to pitch with, you want to have, at the end of the trick, be able to be holding your hat in some form or another. You want to be able to be holding that hat so people can put money in it, or you can start passing it around to people. That's what I found. There might be other ways to how to end your show to pitch for tips, but this is the way I found when I perform. Another thing I talked about is a cup and ball routine. Let me get rid of this hat for a minute. Most cup and ball routines, find a good one that uses a hat as a final load. Most cup and ball routines, you'll load in your object like a big sponge bunny or something. Most cup and ball routines, you'll have like small oranges under your cups. Then under your hat, you'll have like a really big honking orange. But we're going to use the bunny because I don't have a huge orange for this one. You load the bunny into your hat. You put the hat on the table. You lift up and there's a big object. Look, you're in prime position to pass that hat after your cup and ball routine. We'll get rid of that. Another good thing to do, I told you, was Chris Ballinger's Frayed Knot. Because Chris Ballinger on the Frayed Knot DVD shows you a way to end the Frayed Knot routine. The ending of the routine is where the 3 ropes end up the same size. They're all the same size. And then at the end, he shows you how to have the spectator pull out. You're holding the hat. The spectators are pulling the ropes out. And you say, drop it into the hat. And after all 3 ropes have been dropped into the hat, look, prime position again to be holding your hat. I don't do a straitjacket routine on the street. I've never actually done a straitjacket. This is just what some other magicians do, straitjackets on the street. I don't. I use it as a stage show piece. I never use it on the street. You could. And so I'm not going to actually say what I would do because I haven't tried this out in the field. So I'm not going to say what I would do. But straitjacket, I've heard, is really good to do on the street as a closer. There's many other tricks out there you could do as closer, as a closer to your show. Let's talk proper English here for a minute. We'll go back to English class. No, another one that I've seen that I think would be perfect for a closer. I don't have it, but I've seen it on Magic Geek. Just got it in. It's something called flesh wound. What it is, you take a box cutter, you cut your arm, you start bleeding, you pull your skin down so a little flap is hanging down. And you can have a playing card selected in there, signed playing card in your wound on your arm. Then you wipe your arm and the wound is gone, no traces of a cut. You could do that as a closer. That would be a very gory trick. People might faint or scream or even throw up. So I don't know if I recommend that, but yeah. Okay. So basically find a trick. The whole point of this is to find a trick where you're going to have the hat in your hand so you can pass it around. What I've seen some magicians do as well is they'll leave the hat on the ground, they'll call attention to it, and they'll have people throw in the money. I like passing the hat. I don't know why, I just like passing the hat a little better. Or sometimes I don't pass the hat, I hold it like this and have the people drop it in. For some reason, I don't like placing it on the ground and having people throw money in there at the end of the show. I like physically holding the hat for some odd reason. I don't know. It's just my style of performing. I like holding the hat at the end. Now, I'm going to give you a few kind of stock lines that I've used and that I've seen other magicians use for hat passing. One thing people do is on the Boardwalk of Ocean City. All the magicians say, no one pays me to be out here. So, all the people who pay me to be out here are you guys. If you enjoyed the show, just throw a couple dollars into your hat, or into my hat. And one of the magicians on the boardwalk, he says, I know that in these tough economic times, that most people don't carry a lot of money with them anymore. Hey, I get that. I was there once too. But there's an ATM right over there. You can take money out. He says that. A stock line that has been around forever is when somebody says, if you like the show, take your wallet out, take a few dollars out and throw your wallet into the hat. That's a stock line that most people have used forever. And it's one that works. I mean, it's one that works. I cannot speak today. It's one that works for me. I do that sometimes. It gets me some money. Basically, whatever you feel comfortable with. Just play around with your stock lines. That's the best thing about magic is you don't have to actually follow anybody else. You can make up your own stuff, your own stock lines, your own pattern, your own tricks. That's why magic is so much fun. Because it's not like some other things. We have to follow certain things. Like when you do, okay, never mind. But anyways, that's why I love magic. I was going to say, that's why, it's like why, musicians, but they can do their own stuff. So forget what I just said there. But that's why I love magic. And one of the stock lines I use, it gets me some money. I always say, this might be the wrong way, but I love using this line. I say, I'm out here doing this for a living. I saw something to that effect, and I said, I'm in here doing this for a living. Nobody pays me to be out here, but I have to support. I live with my parents. They want me to pay rent, and my mom said that I can't come back into the house if I don't make at least $200 today. So if somebody could just throw a few dollars in there, that would be great, so I can go back home because I really like sleeping in my own bed and not sleeping on a park bench. And that really gets a laugh. Now, you all might be saying, that is the most stupidest line I've ever heard. But it gets a laugh and does get me money. It really does. And you're going to think that line's a load of baloney. But it's gotten me money. I mean, I want to say what happened, but it's so hilarious. I used that line once. Some guy came up to me. He gave me a $10 bill. He was like, "I'm so sorry, dude." And I'm just like, "For what?" It's like, "Your mom won't let you in the house." It's like, and I was like, "It's a joke." And I told him it was a joke, but he still gave me the $10. But he really felt sorry for me. I mean, I'm like, cool. I'm like, so it works. You might not think it works, but it really does. Try that out. It might not be your style, but I like saying that. I don't know why. People just feel pity on me. And I don't say it with a smile. I say it with kind of a frown. I'm like, I can't go back home and sit in my own bed because my mom locks me out of the house if I don't make at least $200. And people really do feel sorry for me. It's so hilarious. I love emotions and playing with my audience like that. But anyways, that is really all I wanted to say about the pitch. The pitch is trial and error. It really is. You just got to kind of play around with what works for you. Because not everything, and that's with all magic, not everything that somebody's going to tell you is going to work for your style of magic. So I do recommend trying out some different pitchers, some different stock lines you can use for money in the hat. I'm trying to think if there's any more. I swear there's a few more that I've seen that I like. I can't remember. There's another one that I like that I use all the time. I've seen some other magicians use as well. The magician takes the hat and he kind of looks inside of it. He kind of roots around it for a half a second and say, "Hey, somebody forgot to pay." I just love that. And I use that in my show too. And people look back and they're like, "What?" And they just kind of look back and they're all like, "What? Who? What?" And it gets a laugh. I mean, it does. But, I like using that one too. I do like stealing other magicians' patterns sometimes too. But a lot of the stock lines that magicians use, you're not really stealing because of the fact that a lot of them, you could probably go look them up in books, and they've probably been around forever. Like, "Hey, somebody forgot to pay." I mean, that's kind of a stock line I've seen tons of magicians on the boardwalk use. So it's not like it's a famous stock line that, only one person's come up with. So if you think something, if you've seen somebody else do it, steal it. I mean, I don't want to say steal it, but use it because they probably stole it from a book or, another magician. So that's what magic is. A lot of the one-liners and stock lines people use in magic are some that have been printed up other places. They've been printed up in books or magazines or, other magicians have allowed people to use it. So that's really it, I think. I think that's all I really wanted to talk about for pitching. I can't think of anything else. All right, now I do want to tell you the plan about Magician 101. We're going to run this show just like a TV show. We're going to go on hiatus for a few weeks. A few weeks we're going to be on hiatus. There's going to be no Magician 101 for the next few weeks. Probably maybe around Thanksgiving. I'm going to start the show back up. Maybe it might be probably around Thanksgiving. We'll see. I'm going to try to start the show back up, and we're going to start back up with kids' parties. Kids' parties, a lot of magicians hate doing those. But I'm going to walk you through it. That's one of my specialties, street magic and kids shows. I'm going to walk you through it, and I'm going to make it painless and tell you how you can have fun doing kids' parties. So join me in a few weeks. We'll come back with, we'll do Season 2 of Magician 101, the Kids Party Edition. You don't want to miss that.